Good evening and welcome everybody. So, Phoenix Spiritual Coach Jordan Richards here. Good evening. Please remember to like, share, follow. Let's get as many of the community on as always. Start posing your questions as always with Q's and A's so that we can deal with them as soon as possible throughout the show. And it's my pleasure to welcome my guest this evening, which is Simon Stone, medium from down south of England. I'm sure he's going to be a fantastic guest because I've seen him do his stuff as a medium, and I have to say he's very, very good. So it's my pleasure to welcome Simon to the studio. And don't forget to pose those questions, like, share, follow, etc. in the meantime, okay? So just waiting for Simon to join us.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, Simon.
Good evening, Richard.
Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan. Sorry. Good evening,
So
Jordan. My
that's
mind's
okay,
completely
no
elsewhere.
problem. Richard's obviously our producers, for those that are in the know, is in the background but not on camera. So how are you, Simon? And thanks very much for being a guest this evening.
You're welcome, Jordan, and thank you for inviting me. Yeah, I'm well. Yeah, I'm actually really, really quite good at the moment. So, and the energies and everything else that have been around for a while now, been a bit of a roller coaster, but I feel good.
Yeah, I would agree with that, to be honest. I mean, there's some terrific energies in the last several months at least. A few dips and what have you, but I think the majority of us are coping quite well.
Yeah, I
So,
wouldn't quite call them dips. I'd call them sort of troughs for some people, but there's
certainly,
there's
absolutely.
massive energy shifts going on, and it's still going on now. But
Yeah, absolutely. And it's troublesome for some people, but other people tend to cope with it a bit better, don't they? I'm
yes,
sure we'll probably get a few questions in relation to that throughout the evening, how to cope with these kind of things, but we shall wait and see. It's down to our viewing public to obviously pose those questions for myself and Simon to answer for you. And then obviously, of course, straight after the commercial break later on in the show, we'll do some live readings. So if you do want a live reading, please wait until obviously I tell you to start asking for a reading, etc. And we will go to only those people that we are pulled to. So Simon, while we wait on the first question, um, hi Sarah L. Sorry, yeah, Sarah L. Yeah, and Terry Louise. Oh, hi Terry. Good evening. Yeah. Laura Grant. Oh, from Canada. Lovely.
British Columbia, Canada. Welcome.
Yeah, and you can jump in anytime and say hello, Simon. Jenny Morin, good evening from the UK. Caroline May Sambrooks, good evening from down in Essex there.
Dagenham. Good old
Dagenham, used to live down in Romford years and years ago, mind. Christine Thur, I think. USA, lovely to have you. Very early over there at the
Oh,
moment.
Debbie Marshall. Good evening, Debbie. How you doing, sweetie?
Ah, see. Good evening, lovelies. Yeah, that's definitely Debbie talk. And Sam B, watching from down under. Wow, it's got to be early there.
Is it 9 hours ahead?
Oh, I like that. Cup
Three
of
o'clock in
tea.
the morning. Someone's struggling to sleep. Yeah, hello, Jane. Jane Wilson.
Jane Wilson. If when you're sending us your name, Jill Reynolds, put in where you're from as well, because some of you are not doing that. It's always good to know where you are. Tim Turner. Yeah, we're all doing fine. We're all geared up, ready to answer those questions and do some live lead readings as always. Please like, share, follow, get as many people on the channel as possible for this evening's show, and obviously the later show after this one. It'd be great. Oh, from Greece. Lovely. Nataria or something like that, it said, wasn't it? Jurga
Yoga.
Lithuania. Wow. Transcontinental and all the rest of it, all over the world. Lovely. Mary Jane, Suffolk. So if you do want to ask a question, please start putting them in the chat and they'll come over. Good evening, Louise. How are you? See, she knows how to get my attention. She puts purple love hearts. Atlantic Canada. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, here we go. Question. Okay. One of my loves in spirit come through extremely emotional, like in despair. I'm a spiritualist myself, and I am baffled. I thought in spirit all was okay, as they know their life path and souls exist. Why do some come through like that? Wow, that's a question and a half. Um, okay, so what I would say to you is that from my experience, even although you may, from the empathy side of things, feel that strong emotion of, you know, um, they're sorry. I feel that despair's not the right word, to be honest. They have transitioned. What you need to remember is when a soul transitions from the earth plane into spirit, they have to go back through what happened in their time. So that's a transition. It's not to excuse the emotional side of it, but they're also going through the next chapter of their life, and then they will obviously have that reckoning, so to speak. So there may be some emotional sides of it, which is why when spirit comes through, you'll get them coming through and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry for this," and you might not understand what that sorry is for, but for them, they feel that they have to say sorry because they've gone through that reckoning when they go up back to spirit, to our original source. Um, so I would just say to you, please don't feel overwhelmed by that emotional side of it. Understand that, even although they have moved into their next chapter, sometimes what we feel is a combination of the spirit mixing with us. And it's actually our emotions because we feel that emotion from spirit. It's actually our emotions that overtake and change the emotion that we feel. So I would say to you to separate the energies there and understand, is it the spirit that's bringing that, or is it part of yourself that's influencing the spirit and the energies that are coming forward to you? Simon, what's your take on that question?
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. My take on my question is, first of all, with respect, I'd have to ask Kristin, they came through emotional, like in despair, what was the message, what was the thing? Because like you just said, Jordon, they could have, it could have been a recent thing. They crossed over, they were learning, they coming through and wanted to apologize for something. Or as you just said, it could have been Kristin's own energy at that time. And it could have triggered her own energy, because we got to understand, just because someone's in spirit doesn't mean to say our own energy doesn't influence things, because we, our own bodies, are energy generators, so we will create that. So again, I would need to know a little bit more information why they came through in despair or emotional. They could
Yeah,
be that they could just be reading the energy with a situation that's around them at the time, and also don't forget, us mediums don't always get it right, so they may have read the energy wrong. They may have think, because there's a number of mitigating factors, I think, and another of variables that could add to that, give a direct answer to that question. But you're right, it's Christian needs to separate the energies, work out what it's coming from, what's the despair, what's the emotional energy, and work it out, and you'll be able to connect the dots.
yeah. I mean, just on what Simon says there, I mean, 100%, and maybe the spirit is coming through, the family member, as you've said. And then, like, they're not coming through with despair, but obviously your energy is kind of like blending with theirs as we do,
Yeah.
as mediums, etc. And then obviously from that, maybe the spirit is what you're feeling as despair for circumstances around you, depending on what the message is. But again, we would need to have obviously a lot more information to ask that so specifically. But hopefully, Christine, that gives you the basics of it. So I would say to you to make sure that you just understand your own energy before somebody gives you a message from spirit, or whether you connect yourself and then you understand that energy, and then be able to go, right, okay, that's mine, that's spirit, and then we can move forward in the right way. And hopefully that helps you.
Well, there
Uh,
you go, Richard. He's just giving a little bit more. The message was, he was so emotional the way he passed.
right.
I think that, with respect, I think that explains it, Christian. You know, our passing. can have an imprint on our soul, on our soul's journey. And obviously, if he's coming through with multiple mediums coming through like this, then obviously he's expressing how the passing, and he's obviously expressing the energy that was surrounding his passing at the time. And maybe he's still on the journey, in his soul journey, trying to let that go. That's a lesson for his own path, for all we know.
Yeah,
um just,
absolutely.
somebody's passing, he's always very emotive, very energetic, very emotional anyway. So when he's coming through, he may be coming through with that energy, just to say, hi, it's me. It's no different to someone who comes through and makes a medium's like heart pump, like they had a heart attack, and how's that? Oh, I had someone who passed with a heart attack. It could be the same thing. He's imprinting that energy. Doesn't mean to say he hasn't moved on, but it's a good way of saying, hi, it's me. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah, I agree. But hopefully, Kristen, that's kind of answered your question. And thank you very much for the additional information with the question, because it helps us give you a little bit more specific information. It was a great question, and I'm sure it's helped a lot of people viewing as well this evening. Good evening, Bernadette from France. Lovely. If you do have a question, remember to obviously drop it in chat, and it will be forwarded to us. Good evening, is that Cheryl? Yeah, Cheryl. Just because it looks like there's a gap between the C and the H. North Wales, Wrexham. Good evening, Clara. Good evening. Yeah. How do you know if it's spirit or your own intuition? I.e., how
Thank
do
you,
you
Clara. Thank
both?
you, Clara. um, do you want to answer that, Jordan, or
Um, I would say, I mean, my own intuition, because I work with it very, very separately to when I connect with spirit, I know that the sensation is very, very different from me. I would say for me, it tends to come from the lower chakra, so the solar plexus initially. And then I know that when, it obviously connects through the rest of the chakras and what have you. So the difference for me would be that the energy and my gut intuition is forcing me forward. So the energy centers around the solar plexus. Whereas when I connect with spirit, it's very much in my heart space. I get the quickening because they're drawing in close to me. I'm already getting information in various clairs, whether that's auditory, etc. So I know that the sensation that I get is very, very different. So I know that that's how I separate it. But I can also sense it when spirit are coming in. So I know that if, let's say, I was just following my gut intuition and then spirit was coming in, because I can obviously give coaching through intuition, but then sometimes spirit do step in. So I have to differentiate that way. So that's how I know it, because I have that, I use that clear sentient energy and skill to be able to separate it. So hopefully that answers your question there, Clara. Simon?
yeah, everybody's unique. Everybody that's spiritual, even every people that aren't spiritual, everyone's is unique, and you connect in your own ways. But again, for me personally, my go-to ability is clairsentient. You just mentioned there. I read energy. I feel I'm extremely sensitive, and so on and so forth. But when I know it's coming from within me and it's an energy source or whatever, I get it in the pit of my stomach, in my solar plexus. That's where my soul sits. I connect to my soul, so on and so forth. So I get that, and I know it's to do with me, or it's an external energy, an energy field, or something like that. When I'm giving readings and spirit directly are contacting me. Now, when I give my readings, I connect to the person psychically with their energy, but I also connect to spirit. But when spirit come into me, I feel it as an external energy that I can feel. When you're standing there and you feel like someone's standing behind you, it's like that feeling to me. Whether it's on the right side, left side, it doesn't matter to me. They come in, but I feel like an external presence that comes from outside and then comes close to me. And as soon as it does, and I become aware of it, and I sort of feel that energy, whatever side or whatever part is connecting to me, then suddenly I feel it blend with me. Then I start getting thoughts, feelings, words, whatever that I know are not mine. They're just coming in at random. That's how I know it's spirit for me. When it's a psychic connection, connecting to someone's energy, I'm I I feel the only way I can say it, I feel something. Even online, even if I was giving you a reading, John, I would project my energy in my mind to you, and I would feel your energy, and then I would read that energy around you, and that's how I connect, and that's how I'm reading you as a person. So the difference between external intuition, what's your own intuition, and what's spirit, as you, there is a clear, defined, for me, definition between the two. I get an external presence when it's spirit. When it's my own intuition, it's like a deep knowing deep within me in my own pit of my stomach, and intuition.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. It's like you just said. I mean, obviously, you said it slightly better than to me. You just know that somebody's there, don't you?
Yeah.
And then you're able to kind of sense and get the information from the energy that's coming in around you. Whereas obviously, you know when it's internal and it's external, and that's
This
probably
is why I say, this is why I say, John, everybody can do this.
yeah,
Everybody is spiritual in our own way. People think it's, oh, you're born with a gift, and like, no, no, no. Everybody is born with the ability to do this as human beings. We just said it there. We all know what it's like when you stand there and you just feel like someone's standing behind you. We've all had that friend. You don't have to be spiritual to have had that experience in your life. And this is what I try to show people. That's what we're talking about. That silent voice inside your head, just that knowing as you're leaving the house and it says, don't forget to take that with you. And you think, no, I won't need it. And then later on, you need it. Like, I wish I'd have taken it with me. It's that, it's tuning into that inner knowing. And
yeah,
everybody's got this ability, but we
yeah.
dismiss it.
I think that's a great add on there because we all do have the ability, and there's people that will turn and say, you've either got mediumship within you to become a medium, but obviously it goes back in my family as it does for a lot of people. But you can learn to upskill yourself in relation to obviously your own intuition, your psychic abilities, your mediumship abilities. Just like anything, we all start wherever we start because we have an understanding. Some people excel quickly, other people's, take a little bit longer to get there. So, just trust and have faith in yourself and your own capabilities, but make sure you just get a good mentor and a coach or a teacher, whatever word you want to use there, but understand the difference that there is a difference between external and internal energies. Which is obviously the foundation of doing the work that we do here. So it was a great question, Clara, and thank you very much. And hopefully myself and Simon have answered that appropriately for you. So thank you so much. Jenny Morin, okay. Some say that a spirit can sometimes stay stuck in the in-between. Does the between exist? Right. I would
Interesting.
say that this is down to personal belief, personally. If you're talking about, um, earthbound souls that don't transition and then they need kind of like rescue mediumship, I don't know too much about it, to be honest. I personally believe that we all transition, but there may be parts of us that are still energetically earthbound, even although we transitioned. That's my take on it, in short, really. But I don't believe that a soul gets trapped once it leaves the human host, so to speak, and then transitions. I just don't personally believe that. What's your take on this, Simon?
I'm again, it is a personal opinion thing, but again, my own take on it is pretty much similar to what you just actually said. If someone crosses over or passes, and you know their consciousness, for want of a other word, um, had this issue, had this emotional thing that they can't let go of, or they didn't resolve, whatever, and it was like eating them up inside or whatever. I can quite well see that when someone passes, that can hold them here, that energy holding me here, because it's like they can't seem to let go. So is that, and I've actually helped souls cross over and things like that over the years. So I do sort of believe in it. But at the same time, I'm with you. It's like I don't believe that they're trapped. It's their choice. And sometimes I think of consciousness when we pass, sometimes that passing can be sudden. Sometimes the build up to the passing can be that strong and everything else that they haven't let go, that when they do pass, sometimes they may not even realize that they've passed. I know it's a cliche, but again, let's be honest, I think we're speculating because no one really knows unless someone dies, crosses over, and comes back and says, this is exactly what happens. We don't really truly know. But I do believe when it comes to how I believe in energies, if someone hasn't let go or resolved certain things and their consciousness and it's sort of eating them up in their life, or it was such an energetic passing, I can understand how people and part of their souls can stay behind or whatever until resolvement or forgiveness, whatever is required. But yeah, it's one of those things. I think it's a personal opinion on that one, Jenny. So if you feel that people are stuck, then that's your belief, that's your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally like the word stuck, because Simon just kind of pointed out. Um, I mean, one thing that I would just add to that is obviously we are all energy, everything is energy, yeah. And like if somebody you have something that belongs to somebody that's passed, and then obviously there's an energy signature left on that, you would understand that the energy, part of that energy of that person, if you think of it like that,
Yeah,
is emanating from that object or
essence.
whatever it may be. So
Yeah,
is that what we call a stuck person, as you've put it? Because the energy is growing because there's nowhere for it to go, because obviously it can't transition back into your body. So therefore, it needs that rescue medium to then kind of take that other part of the soul that's left, or the vibration that's left, to then join the soul and spirit as a whole. Because when you actually think about it, past, present, future is all happening at the same
same.
time. So our vibration here is also doing whatever it's doing in all the paradigms and parallels and all that sort of stuff. So it's a much bigger and wider question, actually. So I would say go and do some research on it if this is what you want to do, but understand that there are other dimensions and parallels that exist in the same timeline as we say as humans, because there's no such thing as time, as I would say. So we're all kind of like in this big melting pot, for better words, and we're kind of like here, there, everywhere. So you know, the energy is always around us. I mean, I feel obviously, as we all do, when somebody passes, whether we recognise it or not, that obviously family are always with us, or whatever, and more with us when we need them the most. So it goes back to the previous question, understanding that that's an external energy, isn't it? So it
Very
was a
much so.
great question, though,
Great.
what we've not had before. So yeah, hopefully that helps you, Jenny. Best of luck with that. And just please, I mean, obviously we are conditioned by our own beliefs, but maybe change some of the beliefs of how you've been conditioned and educated. The world is not as we know it, or how we're educated to understand it. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Simon, do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm reading this, and is it the vibration which causes the ghost effect, where a ghost is seen doing the same thing over and over, paying no attention to the living? Now, now we're going down the road that I came to, I when I was a child, I allegedly saw dead people or things like that when I was a child on a few occasions, and I was in a family that it was discussed about spiritualism, like, but not in a huge sense. And I sort of went down the human life, and I ended up becoming an engineer and doing engineering. They taught you about harmonics, frequencies, vibration, and all that, and we got that knowledge anyway. And to anyone who may be listening and wonder where we're going down with this, it's like a soprano with a crystal glass. You can sing at a certain note and it'll make the glass shatter. We're talking about harmonics, frequency, vibration, but then we're also talking about dimensions and things like that, and out of phase. Now, Jordan just said that we past, present, and future all happen at the same time. Quantum mechanics, quantum physics has already proven that, and all that. So we know that's real, that happening. Past, present, future happens all the time. So you're asking about a ghost effect, blah blah blah. Basically, I think this is where we start talking about vibration and frequency and phasing in and out and things like that, and time. Do you see where I'm going, John? It's like, everything starts to, we start going into what I call, um people say there's a massive difference between science and spirituality. I don't think there is. I think the gap is a lot closer than we think. Like you said, everything is just energy. Pardon me. So if your energy changes for
Yeah,
whatever reason, your frequency changes for whatever reason,
absolutely.
logic says you're going to see something that may be in the same frequency as you. So when you're saying a ghost effect, seeing the same thing over and over and over again, it could be that you're phasing in and out your own frequency, your own energy, your own vibration, or the frequency of the earth is changed, or solar flares that are going. There's so many variables now that we're all starting to learn more. Spiritualism isn't just about a medium standing on a stage and talking to dead people anymore. It's moved forward into the 21st century. People have turned to it more so in the last 5 years because of various reasons. And we're coming and we're looking at it at a different angle. It's not entertainment anymore. So going on that, on the technical side or the processes of it, I think this is what we're talking about, ghost effect. This is when we start talking about energies and frequency to vibrations. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I'd agree with pretty much most of what you've just said there. And I would say that, with regards to that, and obviously, the quantum mechanics and physics of it all, and knowing that the vibration can be within an object or whatever, and we're all in this melting pot, as we know, it's like, well, if we see a ghost or a spirit, I mean, I don't like the word ghost, it
Yeah.
just doesn't sound right to me. I saw my grandpa at 4 years old when he passed on my mum's side. And that was my first experience of seeing spirit. And I remember it as clear as a bell, to be honest. But obviously, did I know what it was at the time? No. And obviously, as you get educated, you forget and you move on, and then you go and do your own physical stuff in the world, and then you come back to spiritualism or mediumship or whatever. And then I
We
was
get
like,
we
oh,
get contaminated by the human mind, as I call it.
absolutely, so I mean, this kind of links in with the other question earlier on, doesn't it?
Mm.
So I mean, it's I would just say that when you understand that we are everywhere where we want to be, whether in this paradox or another dimension or whatever word you want to use there, yeah, we can be in multiple places because we have no understanding of what we are fully capable of as a soul within a human body. But then when you start looking and educating yourself in certain spiritual teachings and other teachings as well, the quantum mechanics and the physics and stuff, you would understand that actually, similar to the out of body experience where you're connected by the silver cord, so your soul is always connected to your human body, and you can bring it back as quick as that. So, is spirit coming forward to show you themselves as a spirit or a ghost, if you like, to kind of get your attention for something because you've not been paying attention to maybe just objects moving around, which is a more subtle sign. So this is a huge subject, but I would just say, with regards to it, go away, do some research on it, because I mean we could be here all night talking just about this one question, to be honest. But
Oh, they're definitely on
hopefully,
this one.
Nicola, we've answered your question as best as we can given the time. Yeah, thank you, and thank you for the question because it was a great question. And that's what we like. We want those questions that push us. Okay, so we've got Louise Don Ebb. Hi, my dad passed on Sunday. Would he be in heaven yet, or does it take time? Um, I personally believe that people transition almost immediately. I was there at the end when my mum died 4.5 years ago, and I saw both my grandparents come forward. So her mum and dad come forward to obviously escort her into the light, as we say, and transition through into spirit. And she came through with a message very shortly afterwards. Earlier on this year in January, I got a message within 24 hours of my dad passing, who didn't believe in spiritualism, but I did help him cross over in astral, which kind of then goes back to the previous question of kind of those out of body experiences and stuff like that. And we can all be in different time zones. So that's interesting as well. But I don't personally believe that, it takes the thing is here is time doesn't exist. It's a human word. We need to get rid of it. Okay. What time is everything and everything, all that quantum mechanics stuff. What's your take on this, Simon?
I mean, exactly the same as you. I was about 10, 12 years ago. I was there when my mum passed, and I saw her soul and her spirit leave her body and be greeted by spirit. So that was confirmation for me. But I'm not a believer of heaven and hell. I don't believe there is heaven or hell. I just believe there's another place we go to. I think even the bad people that here go to the other side because they're here for a reason. We were all here for a reason, all to do what we do. So for Louise to give you comfort and love and all that, yeah, your dad has crossed over. He crossed over the second he passed, his soul left his body and it moved on, and it will moved on to a place of love. Um this is his place of love, that he came here and he done what he was supposed to do, and he's going back to, to another place that's just pure love and pure energy. We're all connected, we're all linked in. And yes, does it take time? Like Jordan says, I do believe that when we cross over, we do go through a review process of our life, almost an audit, so to speak. Not for judgment. Don't believe it's for judgment. It's again for our own personal growth, to understand the do's and the don'ts and the mistakes and the successes we've had in our life. But does it take time? No, it's immediate in my eyes. I saw it with my own eyes, and that's just my own personal experience.
Yeah, and I have to agree with that. I've saw it with my own eyes twice. Once with my mum, where I was in the room, and the second one being in Astro with my dad when he passed over. So, I mean, again, the words heaven, hell, very, very human of us to kind of separate it into good and bad, black is white, and all that sort of stuff.
Hey, can I just sort of explain that? I didn't mean to sort of thing on Louise. And Louise, if you believe in heaven and you carry on believing that, don't ever change. That's your symbolistic of a beautiful, wonderful place. Um, in my mind, it's energy is neutral. This good and evil, this black and white, this heaven and hell thing, that's a human label. That's a human construct, control population from how many thousands of years ago, etc., etc. Energy is neutral. It's neither good nor bad. It's what we do with it, with our choices and how we use it, that make it good, bad, black, white, heaven, hell, whatever. What you're asking, Louise, is your dad in heaven, and is he safe, and is he well, and is he loved? And trust me, sweetheart, he is. He was met and greeted by, like Jordan's parents. He was met and greeted by his loved ones in spirit. And trust me, when we cross over, there is no blame, there is no guilt, there is no thing. There's just understanding of what we're here for. There's understanding, and understanding that we live this life to learn and to grow our souls, to our own personal growth. So that's what we're here for. There'd be no other point otherwise. We're here to learn, to grow on our soul's journey.
Absolutely. And I would just like to say to Louise before obviously we move to the next question is, uh, our condolences, because obviously you're obviously probably going through the emotions with it being such a recent passing just gone. Take the love and blessings from the SPTV community, ourselves and Simon and Richard behind the scenes, etc. Know that we are all here for you. So please reach out if you do need to at this obviously hard time. Okay, but thank you very much for the question, and hopefully it's gave you some explanation and depth about it. Okay. Okay, so Tina Jones, sorry, have you read a book called Journey of Souls? It explains a lot. I personally haven't read this yet. I know it's on my book list to purchase. Have you read it, Simon?
If this, no, I'm going to be honest. No, I haven't. But I believe in this, the Silver Birch book, I believe, or someone along those lines. But I know the gist of it because I had a very good friend that I was in a circle for about 5 years, and he mentioned it many a times. So it's definitely a book that's on my list. I haven't got around to reading it yet, to be fair.
Yeah. So, right. Okay. So we've got the interjection of our lovely producer there. Sorry, Tina, we both haven't read it, but obviously now that you've mentioned it, it is on our list. So maybe we need to push that to the priority of the top of our list of our next purchase each. But I mean, Journey of the Soul, I mean, just in brief, I don't know the book, but like Simon touched upon, you know, we have lessons, we go back for that, you know, audit, so to speak, life's reflection of what we've learned, what we've not learned, what we did right, what we did wrong. Do we want to come back to then transition our soul to ascend even higher? And obviously we go through that process until we obviously reach enlightenment. That's my take on it without obviously reading the book. So hopefully that kind of partly answers the question, I guess. And thank you very much for the question. Okay, so good evening, Lisa Perkins. Lovely to see you here. Do you believe you can read anyone, or do some people put up barriers to stop this happening? So,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, 100%. People can put up barriers. The other side of that is, you know, you can put your own personal protection and blocks, you know, to stop somebody psychically attacking you. Or if we're in a reading situation, such as the question is, 100% you can read somebody's own personal energetic aura and all the different levels of that, you know, emotional, mental fields within the aura, etc. How deep you penetrate that energy is entirely up to you and how skilled you are, I would say. So 100%, of course you can. But
Also, I'd say, Jordan, I
but
think it's a lot of us that we forget to do this as well sometimes. Yeah, can you believe if someone's blocking me, because I feel energy, I'm clairsentient. That's the first thing I feel. I'll feel somebody's energy, whether it's online or in front of me. And I'll instantly realize and feel their resistances, their blockages, and things like that. And that could be that will put barriers up and so on and so forth. But at the same time, I'll read someone's energy and I'll just get a general overview of it. How deep I want to go, I think, is then down to personal responsibility, as in, you know, it's like opening someone's personal mail to address to somebody else. Would you do it? No, you wouldn't. You shouldn't do it. And, you know, nobody should do that. So I'm the same thing. I get an overview, or I get the overview of the energy. So unless they give me permission to delve in deeper and look in deeper, I just sort of hold off, because we've got to understand that we're dealing with people's lives and emotions and triggers and traumas and experiences. So we have to be wary of that and have a moral code, a moral center in ourselves that, okay, I feel it's raw. They may want to keep that private. So it's that. So unless someone actually comes to me for a reading with a specific thing and they want to find out what it is, then I'll delve in deeper, obviously, and give them the information that they need or whatever it is I get. But do I believe people put barriers up? Yeah, they can. That can just be someone not believing in this. You know, I don't believe that you can do this, blah, blah, blah. But even me, I'm sure you've had this, Jordan. I've had people that says, I don't really believe in this. And I give them a little short reading and I say something that even in their eyes are like, how did he know that? You know, so it's it's down to the person and the intention. If they don't want you to see something or don't want something to come out, then it won't. And also, spirit are not stupid. They're not going to come out with embarrassing things to show people up or whatever. So it depends what you're talking about, Lisa, in my eyes.
yeah, and just on the skepticism that you picked up on there, actually, there. I mean, if you're reading somebody who's obviously, you know, at a different level of skepticism, you know, unintentionally or intentionally, we all put barriers up to protect ourselves. So
Yeah.
you got to remember, sometimes somebody has barriers up that are unintentional because they don't even realize that they're doing it, but it's just how they've been conditioned, how they've been educated, and they have certain barriers or certain walls up. But then, if we really want to push that, we can actually heighten those barriers and obviously create a more of a spiritual defense around us, or psychic defense around us, depending on obviously how you might put that. But 100%, we do put barriers up even in our physical lives. So why wouldn't we do that spiritually at times when we, you know, we meet somebody that's just got that, oh, I don't like that energy, straight away we back off from it or whatever. It's the same type of thing. And Simon's right in relation to reading a private client. You need to be 100% professional and ethical. You don't delve deeper without permission. And you let your client open up the question or the subject area so that then you have permission from them asking you the question for you to allow to do that, to get additional information from their energy and allow spirit to come forward with the rest of it.
You may have even seen me do this, John. I've actually done it in the middle of readings before, where I've never mentioned any words to give away what it is, but I'll say to the person I'm reading, I'm picking up this energy, this, then I'll describe the energy and I say, does that resonate with you? And they'll go, yeah, because in my mind I'm getting the other details, but I don't want to say it in public and embarrass this person. So I'll say to them, does this resonate with you? And do you understand why I'm bringing this up? And they go, yeah, right, I can now move on. I've got the message across, but without embarrassing them.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we all do that. You know, if you're a good medium with a good foundation of your education and how to work with spirit, 100%, you would do that instinctively. You don't even need to think about it. You just don't open that up about private and personal information. Sometimes you get, you know, as Simon says, you see something, your information gets dropped in, and however it comes in, or you sense the energy through it. But you just don't open it up because not everybody in the room needs to know that. If it's a private reading, that's slightly different
Yeah,
because
if it's
obviously there's
private,
only
yeah.
you and your client in the room, and it's a trusted and sacred place. But when you're on a platform or you're at a spiritual convention or whatever it is, and there's other people passing by, you don't give out those details. It's just totally unethical and unprofessional, in my opinion, to be honest. I really do need to say that. So thank you very much, Lisa, for your question. It was great. It was a great question. We've not had that one before. So great stuff. Thank you. Next question then. We'll have one more question and then we'll go for our quick adverts and get into readings then for our viewers, yeah? Because I'm sure they're all waiting for a reading. So, yeah. In the meantime, like, share, follow, etc. Do you want to go for this one first then, Simon?
I feel I'm trying too much, maybe even desperate to hear from loved ones. Would that stop them coming through for me, please? No. Carol, with respects, no. Your yearning, your your love to wanting to hear from your loved ones and that coming through. Trust me, they're around you and they're already giving you signs and signals and messages, but with respects, because I found myself doing this myself. We can sometimes, become so engulfed in our own energies, our own grief, our own, that we're wanting to hear from someone, that we miss the signs, we miss the messages that they give us. We can go on for weeks, months like that until, sometimes we wake up. And I just give you an instance. I had a friend I used to work with years and years and years ago, and his mum had passed many, many moons before that. And we were talking about spiritualism, and he said, before his mum passed, he said to his mum, just show me a sign that you're going to be okay. And the sign was going to be of an angel. And he said, and years later, she still hasn't shown me that sign. And I sort of chuckled. And I know it sounds horrible, because as we were sat there, sat right next to him was a little statue, and it was an angel. And I said, what more do you want? It's right there in front of you. You're talking about this, and your mum's never given you a sign of an angel, and there's a statue sat right in front of you that's an angel. We can be so blinded by the signs. Trust me, Carol, spirit are around you. And I'm actually just being shown and being told, someone twiddles with your hair at night when you're trying to fall asleep. When you keep doing that, it feels like there's a fly or something around annoying you. It's not. Spirit saying, that's us. And I feel it's a male, definitely a father figure that's around and just stroking your hair as you go to sleep at night. So spirit are all around you, Carol. It's just our human self gets in our way.
Yeah, 100%. The most obvious signs, especially when we're in that energy of, desperation, or we're in a place of anxiousness or despair, or whatever words you want to use around this, we can be so consumed by that energy that literally the signs that are being given are literally right in front of us, but we're so oblivious to it because we're caught up in the energy that we're in. And we need to change that energy and the vibration around us just to kind of let us be a little bit more susceptible and open up to the actual clues that are actually being given to us. So I agree with Simon. Spirit are always around you. From the moment they pass over like that, as we've touched on in the previous question, they are there instantly for you, whether you realize it or not. Because again, it goes into the other questions of quantum physics and all that sort of stuff. You know, the energy exists around us, okay? And if you're not too sure about that and you want to kind of like sense them a little bit more closely to you or whatever, just sit with the intention and ask them to come a little bit closer and give you a sign specifically, rather than wait for them to give you a sign. That's what I would say to you if you really need that comfort. Okay, so hopefully that helps you, Carol, and thank you very much for your question. It was a great question, to be
Just
fair.
jumping in quickly. That's a great way to do it, Jordan. Exactly, do that, Carol. Just sit down, close your eyes, connect to spirit, and ask them to give you a sign within a couple of days, you know, or something, and you'll be surprised. You'll see it. So that's a good way, just to show you that they're around you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the last question for this evening. We're going to go for a quick commercial break, guys. We'll be back in roughly 2 minutes with the live readings to finish off our show this evening. Okay, so thanks very much for staying with us. Thanks very much for the questions. We'll see you on the other side of these adverts. Thank you.
Help Spiritual Psychics TV grow our TikTok channel. Connect with us at sptv UK. We're on a journey to reach our next milestone, and we need your help. Follow us today and support us going live. Imagine getting personalised readings, discovering your card of the day, and so much more. Don't miss out on the opportunity to explore new adventures with us. Follow, engage, and transform. Join our growing community at Spiritual Psychics TV with @SPTV UK on TikTok.
Introducing the SPTV app, your digital spiritual guide for an enlightening journey like no other. Immerse yourself in a world of audio and visual content crafted to inspire, educate, and entertain. Seek guidance with our card of the day, choosing up to 6 cards for personal insights. Enhance your daily life with our wellness section, featuring nutritious recipes, affirmations, and balanced living tips. Explore our spiritualism section for a deep understanding of the religion, its principles, and spiritual answers. Unravel the secrets of the clairs and broaden your spiritual horizon. Easily find local readers, therapists, centers, or churches with our comprehensive directory. Stay connected with live broadcasts, check our schedule, and get to know our insightful presenters. Delve into the meanings of angel numbers, crystals, and a comprehensive list of divination meanings. All of this and more, available for free on the SPTV app. Download now at sptv.uk/app and start your journey with your digital spiritual guide.
Join us tonight at 8 p.m. UK time as we welcome Paul Bannister for a captivating live interview and talk show, Spiritual Talk. Tune in for insightful discussions with special guests and live readings that promise to inspire and enlighten.
Starting at 11 a.m. tomorrow, join Laura and Helen for a morning dedicated to upliftment, spiritual guidance, holistic wellness, and readings.
Welcome back, guys. So we're going to go into our live readings, and we're going to let the comments and what have you flow, and we will then be pulled to whoever we want to read for between myself and Simon. Okay. Good evening, Mary Murray. Good evening, Kim Gary. Don't forget, we got Paul Bannister at 8 p.m. this evening, shortly after this show. Okay, our fabulous other presenter, Paul Bannister, at 8 p.m. Okay, so thank you very much for the love, guys. Welcome back, etc. Yeah. Okay. Can I go to Sam B, actually, please? Thank you. The doggies just drew my attention. I love the purple love heart, by the way, just because it's one of my things that I do. So straight away, the dog's pulled me, and I am aware that there is a gentleman coming forward for you this evening, and he wants to talk to you in relation to how he passed. And I feel like I don't feel it's you, but I feel it's somebody within the family that is still grieving this loss. I do want to say that this is a father energy, but it may not be father because it's not as strong as a father, so it may be grandfather, okay? I want to say that he was in his mid-60s to almost 70 when he passed. I am being drawn to the chest area with him, but I'm also being told that he would have had a bit of a thing with the throat towards the end. And as I'm talking, I'm getting very, very dry. So I feel like there was a lack of fluids. Excuse me a second. I'll just ask to step back. He's trying to take my breath away. So I do feel like there was breathing complications towards the end. And I do feel like there was a minor issue with the heart, but I do want to say it would have been mainly to do with the lungs. Would you understand this, Sam, please? And if just write in the comments, yes, etc. Okay. And I'm being told that there are significant changes around you at the moment. And I want to say that there is something specific that you're asking for via prayers or just putting it out there in your thought process, and you want some guidance in relation to a direction. I'm not going to open that up, okay? So I just feel that that is coming in for you, and this gentleman is just basically coming in to say, just be patient, please. We're working on it. Wait to I want to say to the end of next week, okay? And I feel like before you even know it, I just feel like it's just everything's just going to click, okay? From what I'm being shown here, okay? And oh right, okay, sounds like father-in-law, right? Okay, that'll be why it wasn't as strong as what I normally feel, okay? And would you understand the name? It's either Callie or Ali. I'm not quite hearing that properly, so I'm just going to tune in a little bit closer here. I feel like it's somebody called Ali, okay? And that could be an abbreviation for obviously a longer name. So would you understand that name? But I also need to give you David as well. So I don't know whether that's the gentleman that I've got, but he is dropping in a couple of names, okay? I've got to give you something to do with, what's that? I've got to give you something to do with, you know, one of those woven baskets. Right, okay. I'm being told something to do with a hamper, and there would get very right. Okay, yeah. He's presenting me with a woven basket, and there's like very, very posh delicacies in it, specifically caviar for some reason. So I don't know whether there's something to do with caviar, but specifically caviar within that. Okay. And what else? And I've got to give you a couple of dates before I leave you, okay? And I'm being told 4, 8, 11, and 26 would be significant within the months, okay? I do feel one of them would be a door number, though. I feel more the 26, if that's correct. And I want to say, okay, there would be something significant that's gone past in relation to March, and he's taking a nod to that. And there'll be something coming up towards the end of this month. And he's also drawing me to August, late September, and mid-November. Okay? And I believe that those months and those dates that I've gave you would correspond alongside. You'll have to place them because obviously it's only a short reading. But please take the love of this gentleman, because it's not only him. I do not have time to bring in this lady, but there is a lady very much, and I do want to say that this is grandmother coming forward, okay? And she's very much around you. Similar to what Simon said with somebody else, would you understand that somebody does this gentle, almost energetic touch on your left-hand side? I want to say almost near the ear, and I want to say that this is predominantly when you're just sat in the silence. There can be music or whatever on in the background, but when I say silence, you're just like, you're not even paying attention to what's going on around you. You're just kind of like being present, okay? Harley, right? Okay, so I knew I'd misheard it. So thank you very much for the confirmation. Please take the love of the lady, please, because she's sending many blessings and just saying, I am around her, but she wants you to acknowledge when she's there, which is why she's brought forward the sign, okay? And the gentleman, he knows that, would you understand that he went a little bit earlier than what was, I want to say, diagnosed, okay? So I feel like people knew that he was going to go, but he went earlier and it was a bit of a sudden transition to the other side, okay? I want to come to a male around you though. Before I go, I want to say that this male is still struggling with this passing. And I feel like we need to be going back through memories and kind of revisiting the good times of when this person was alive. That's what I'm being told to tell you, okay? To kind of raise that energy, raise that vibration, and this gentleman will come forward a lot stronger. Definitely before I go, will you watch out for your cup being turned? So when you put your cup down and like the handle's to the right, will you watch out where that moves slightly? So I want to say it moves, you know, kind of, what's that, anti-clockwise. I want to say that the handle's not where you put it. So if it's on the right hand side, it would be like kind of like you'd need to turn the cup to bring the handle round to the right. Okay, so please take their love, and thank you very much for letting me connect with you. And that's a beautiful picture of that dog. I love it. So thank you very much. Okay. You missed your nan. Yeah, but know that they are around you, my darling, okay? And just recognise that sign that I brought forth. I believe that that's why she wanted to come in and tell you, okay? So please take the love and have a great weekend coming forward and enjoy the beautiful British weather as well, okay? So we can have some more names. Simon,
I got
you just jump in.
Yeah, I got Tina Mills. Can you bring up Tina Mills, Rich, if you can find her? She asked for some guidance with something. It was just before Sam B. And I sort of connected with her energy. Tina Mills, I think her name was. There we go, Tina. I'm gonna get into your, sorry for moving. I just dropped one of my crystals. I do apologize. No, chosen business friends from spirit that I'm hoping you start. Can they see me succeeding? I'm going to be honest with you. The energy I got straight away as I saw your name and your face, Tina, was there is literally a lot of energy around you. There's a lot of things going on. I feel that you're doing everything at 101 miles an hour. I do feel the anxiety and the worry about this business venture that you're, I feel there's options as well, though, into this, and it's more that I feel that you're struggling to decide which route or road to go down. That I feel more than anything. I do feel it will succeed. I do feel that you got the energy to go with it. I've got a lady and a male that are with me, that are joining me, and I feel that they're definitely on grandfather level, but they're coming through together. So when they were together as a couple, I see that they were friends as well as just being a couple, because normally when one is dominant of the other one would stand in front of the other one. That's how it works to me. But in my mind, they're coming through together, so it's like they were good friends as well. They're around you. Oh, the male, definitely, he's the one stepping forward and speaking. He's the one, and I feel that he had an issue with his breathing, because I suddenly had an issue with my chest and suddenly start to struggle to breathe. But he's quite tall as well. He's the gentleman, and he's actually saying, go for it. It's almost like you're being pushed, or you're getting an energy and inspiration to push yourself forward with this new business venture that you're looking into. They understand your worry, because it feels like you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So it's either you're going from normal 9 to 5 employment to doing a self-employed business venture or something, or you're crossing over. So there's that fear of that, but they're saying remove that fear, remove the anxiety, remove the fear. They say you understand what they're talking about, because you feel an excitement within you when you think about this business venture. It really, like a fire, burns up inside your stomach. It really gives you an excitement and anything. And they said you need to concentrate on that. This fear about whether you're going to succeed or whether, that's your normal human fear, your normal worry, and it's okay to worry about that. But this couple, this grandfather, mother, and grandmother, are both saying that they do have you and they got your back. They're also showing me, though, They're also showing me that there's a lot of people around you at the moment that are putting their energy, or their it's like they're dumping stuff onto you, and it's like you're doing everything for everybody at the moment. And I'm being told that you need to stand back from that a little bit. There's one or two people that need to swim themselves, that need to do things, and it's almost like, because you're so nice and you go, oh yeah, I'll do that for you, blah blah blah, and then by the end of the day you're knackered and you don't realize that you haven't put any time aside for yourself. But they're saying, as much as you got this big heart and you do things for people, it's okay to put some time aside for yourself. And it's almost like they're saying, in the future, it's going to be imperative that you do that, that you actually dedicate time for yourself. Um, I don't know why. I'm going to have to ask you this question, Tina. Why have they just suddenly given me the Dolmio advert? You know, the spaghetti bolognese sauce, the ragu sauce, and all that. And I don't know why. And he's laughing. And I'm seeing a gentleman in that, in the advert we see in the UK. He's got like this big moustache, black hair, and he's got this big black moustache. And he's just showing me that, and he's laughing. So I don't know why he's giving me that. But I'll pass it on to you. But yeah, you'll be fine. Uh, I'm being shown you will be fine. Have trust and belief in yourself and your own abilities. And if you can find that confidence in yourself and have that excited feeling and just stay in that power, in that excited power, and move forward in that power, the fear will slowly melt away. It will slowly start to go away. Your self-esteem, your anxieties will melt away. Your self-esteem will go up, your self-confidence will go up, and your anxieties and your worries will start to melt away. They're also saying protect your heart and your feelings, because you're quite a sensitive lady. But I feel that you allow, or they're showing me the one or two people that like to take that little bit too much from you. So they're saying actually protect your heart, and it's okay for you to say no occasionally. They're actually saying, where is that fight? Where's that fire in you? It's almost like there's a passion within you, um, that you had deep down. Yeah, it's been a tough 6 months. The passion, bring that fire back. They're saying, I'm hearing the words Italian passion. So I'm not sure. Like, I was going to do a spag bowl tonight, but the kids moaned. But there you go. It shows the spirit are all around you, even around you now tonight, and everything else. But they're saying, find that fiery passion that you used to have a few years back. They said, bring that back, bring yourself back. Like you said, it's been a tough 6 months, but I feel you're over the worst of it now, and you're now on the path going back up again. I feel that the healing's been done, and that kind of thing, and it's time to get out there now. But have trust and faith in yourself, Tina. And they're giving me white roses to give to you, so please take their love, and spirit are always all around you. And I'm being told, if you need to know anything, just ask them, and they will give you what you asked for. They will give you the answer that you need. In actual fact, they're showing me that there's lots of signs around you, by moving objects, flashing lights, things like that, movement out the corner of your eyes, but they're showing me they're all around you. So please take their love, Tina. Thank you.
Lovely, Simon. Thank you very much for that. That was a great message for Tina there. So we'll get some names and we'll see who else we're drawn to before we close up for this evening. Okay, so Tilly. Okay, good evening, Tilly. Yeah, Lisa Marie Walton, Judith Somerville. Okay. Tina again, Kim Gary. Okay. Okay, can I go back to the one before that? Richard, sorry, the lady that asked the question about her son. Literally. Oh, sorry. I missed the name. Sorry. It was two back, if you can go back. Right. It's fine. Fine. Okay. I just went off as soon as I saw it. I do apologize.
Welcome, Tina.
Okay.
Tina, you're so welcome.
So, yeah, Lisa Marie Walton. Okay. Yeah. Angel. Okay. Just some of them. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 Can I stop on Kelly Francis, the one before? I think that's what her name was. It wasn't the one that I was originally pulled to, but yeah. So Kelly France. Right. Okay, Kelly. Right. Whew. Right. So I do know that there's a lady and a gentleman coming forward for you. Okay. Gentleman's a little bit reluctant to step forward, but the lady would like to step forward straight away. So I would have said that this lady knew how to kind of, you know, dominate or kind of like be present in a setting, I want to say. I do want to say that this is more kind of grandmother. If it's not grandmother, it's definitely somebody that's linked to grandmother on that line, possibly a grandmother sister. So it'd be great, it'd be an aunt. And that lineage, because the vibration is very, very powerful. But I want to say to you, specifically in relation to, I'm being drawn to work around you. And I feel like there's a few things going on that really shouldn't be going on. And I feel like there's somebody that's in charge that's not taking charge of somebody within their job role. Hopefully you would understand that. And it's kind of upsetting the kind of the workers I'm being shown below, because this person isn't doing kind of like what's expected of them job wise. Okay. So the lady's stepping forward a little bit further into my energy this evening. So would you understand the name Claire for me, please? And I want to give Ashley as well. So I don't know whether that's obviously male or female, because obviously it's unisex. But would you understand that? I want to give you the number 218 and 22. Okay. I definitely want to give you February. And I want to give you April. I also want to give you something in July, but I'm being shouted in July 3 times, okay? So they're really pulling me towards July for you. So there's something in July. I feel like that's more kind of like some sort of like celebration rather than a passing. So, you know, a more positive celebration, as in like a birthday or whatever, or maybe a wedding or something like that. And now that I've said that, I want to say it'd be like a union, so it'd be like an engagement or a wedding. Okay, I can take Claire and Ashley from school. Okay, that's fine. As long as you can take the information, that's great. Okay, so would you actually understand somebody called Francis? Because that's just been dropped in just as I look back to your name. And I did actually think that was your surname before, actually, so I need to give it. Okay. But do you understand the work situation around you, that somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing in relation to taking control and kind of organizing the troops, so to speak, or the employees? I feel like there's somebody employee-wise that's taking advantage. I don't feel that's you, by the way. But I do feel that somebody's getting away with stuff and it needs to stop. Okay. But I'm also being drawn at, my attention's being drawn towards somebody that I want to say isn't family, but kind of like on that friend circle. I don't feel a close friend, but there's, I want to say there's Chinese whispers. Okay. And I just want to kind of highlight that. And I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but somebody that cannot be trusted. I'm being told to tell you, okay? I do feel like you're kind of semi-aware of this, but I feel like it's been brought forward to kind of pay more attention to this if you want, because I feel like there's stuff going on that you don't know about, okay? So it's not with yourself. I didn't feel it was with you, but it's definitely around you, okay? So I did say it wasn't a friend, but it's kind of like maybe a friend of a friend, somebody you know, okay? But I don't feel that there's a strong vibrational pull that you would know this person as a close friend, so to speak. So I just want to pinpoint that, okay? And I'm also being told to tell you that you would understand that the lady that's coming forward, I'm being told there would be something significant in relation to a gold chain, okay? And I want to say that there was quite an ornate, I don't know whether it was gold or gold plated. It looks gold to me, but it might be gold plated. But it's quite an ornate cross, and there was a big gold chain being left with her. I want to say it's at least 18 inches long, because it's kind of quite far down on me. Okay. Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. And would you be aware of that cross and that chain? Because it's been brought in for a reason. And I feel like somebody's missing this lady, and she's just saying to me, whoever it is, whether it's you or somebody around you, will they just feel the vibration of the object, please? And they'll come closer around you. Because I feel like there's, all right, okay. I feel like you're asking for something specifically, okay? Not to do with what I've just told you about, but you're asking, I'm not going to open that up. Thank you. You're asking for something quite private and specific, okay? Just know that this lady wants you to connect with her energy a little bit more, okay? So call her forward, and she's going to give you some of the answers in relation to what you're being specifically asked. Sorry, what you are specifically asking for. Would this lady trip over her words? Because I feel like I'm stuttering slightly. It's either that or she had a set of false teeth, because that only happens when they do that to me. But she's a beautiful essence, and the gentleman's just coming in and tipping his hat to you, and he wants to make reference to. Okay, would you understand that quite a special birthday earlier on this year, and would you understand that you've seen this gentleman in and around your environment? I want to say home, okay, as if somebody's walking past you. Okay, and I want to say it's this gentleman that's walking up and down when things are not great energetically. But try and raise that vibration and ask this lady to come in, because she wants to give you that advice and that guidance to kind of put you on the right track and give you the answer to the question that you're asking. I'm not going to open that up. I feel it's too private, okay? But you would understand that, yes? She did towards the end. Right, okay, so that's fine, because as soon as you've said that's gone, so that's good. Okay, and I just want to say to you, similar to what Simon gave the other lady, but would you understand that energetically you need to protect yourself a little bit more closely, please? I feel like somebody around you is basically draining your energy way too much. Okay, and you need to be turning and understanding who that person is and just saying no and walking away, because actually you feel so depleted after you converse with this person and you're close to them energetically that literally you're like, oh my goodness, you feel like all the energy's just been wiped out from you. And she's bringing forward, excuse me, a white lily for you, but I've also to give you, what's that? Something to do with some sort of tart. I think it's a Bakewell tart because it's got a cherry on it, or there's some sort of cake with a cherry on it, okay? And thank you very much for letting me connect with you this evening. Please take the love. The gentleman's is a little bit reserved, but again, as I'm talking, he's tipping his hat, okay? And he's just saying, rest assured, it's all going to be okay, okay? So just know that they're around you, please, and know that whatever you're asking for that specific question is on its way to you. But please connect a little bit more closely, because I feel like it's going to be literally dropped in, so you'll just know the answer, okay? And thank you very much. All right.
I just wanted to jump in, John. No detail, but the energy that I feel, I also want Kelly to realise the energy that I'm feeling. I feel that there's good things coming. I really do feel like the Wheel of Fortune has slowed down, stopped, and started to turn the other way. And I feel that in your life, Kelly, that things are starting to go your way. And the energy that I'm reading is things are really going to start to change for you and start going for you. That's the energy that I'm picking up as Jordon was giving you the reading. Sorry about that, Jordon. Just wanted to say.
No, not at all. I mean, I know that obviously you read
Yes,
slightly different to me as well, so that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Additional information for Kelly, which is great, because obviously we want that Wheel of Fortune turning upright and creating that new energy for you. So that's a lovely reading, that for Kelly. Best of both worlds from me and Simon there. Okay. So it does bring us to the end this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. A massive thank you to my friend and fellow colleague in mediumship, Simon Stone, who was part of my journey many years ago. So a huge thank you for him for coming on and reading the public and giving his benefit of his spiritual experience and knowledge. So thank you very much, Simon. And thank you. Good night. God bless to all of you. Take care. I'll see you in 2 weeks, where I have the lovely Colin Walker who's going to come forward and be my guest then. Okay, so good night, God bless, take care everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you so much.